Hello everybody, it's Anna here, and we haven't got a Welsh lesson today. We've got a bit of a history lesson, and it's all about the devastating dam disaster that killed 16 people in the Conwy Valley in 1925, when millions of gallons of water and thousands of tons of boulders rushed down from a narrow gorge onto the unsuspecting village. It was on a dark and stormy night in November the 2nd, that disaster struck this small village in the Conwy Valley of Dolgarrog. Part of the 3/4 of a mile-long dam at LLYN EIGIau, up high in the shadow of the CARNEDDAU Mountains above Dolgarrog near LLANWRST, fractured under stress following 2 weeks of almost continual heavy rain, and released a large volume of water down the valley. The rushing water from the concrete dam owned by the Aluminium Corporation overwhelmed the Govt Reservoir, a small body of water which was bounded by an earth embankment dam. And at 9 p.m. on November the 2nd, 1925, the Govt Dam burst, cascading millions of gallons of water and thousands of tons of boulders down a narrow gorge onto the unsuspecting villagers below. Some of the boulders brought down by the torrent are estimated to weigh more than 500 tons. The church bell is said to have rung out 3 times just minutes earlier. This rushing water killed 10 adults and 6 children. The nearby Aluminium Corporation factory was seriously flooded, but the 200 or so workers there were all successfully rescued. The death toll might have been higher had not most of the villagers been attending a cinema in the community hall on higher ground that night. And the hydro power station, located alongside the aluminium plant, provided electricity to the coastal towns, and it was put out of action by the sudden flooding, plunging most of Conwy, Llandudno and Colwyn Bay into darkness. The jury at an inquest into the lives lost at Dolgarrog heard technical evidence that the foundation of the dam, built in 1911, had not been sufficiently deep, and the jury returned a verdict of accidental death caused by the bursting of the dam under the wall in consequence of the wall lacking a proper foundation. And it was at this time the coroner recommended regular government inspection. So this disaster led Parliament to pass the Reservoirs Safety Provisions Act in 1930 that introduced laws on the safety of reservoirs, and this has since been updated, and the current one is the Reservoirs Act 1975. Because of all this, in 2004, a memorial trail was created, which is where we're at today, explaining the tragic story to walkers, and the trail takes visitors like ourselves to where the boulders from the damaged dam now lie. So, very, very sad story, and a little bit of good came out of it in that the Reservoirs Act of 1930 was passed. And apparently that night in the village church, the minister preached on being ready. And I think everybody would say that that was a very, very timely sermon, the subject of that night. So there we are, we'll leave it there for today, and hope you've enjoyed this little history talk. We'll say ta-ta for now, and we'll see you on the next adventure or the next Welsh lesson. Ta-ta for now, nos da.